Good morning, world. Welcome to the Morning Brew, live on Brew Sports. We welcome you inside the studio on a Friday edition of the program. A wonderful time to talk about the sports world. Nobody better to talk about it than with Jaymee Evers. A very good morning to you. Jaymee, how are you today?
I am wonderful.
Awesome.
How are you?
You seem fired up. Like, I'm wonderful. Yeah, let's go.
I had coffee this morning.
Good. I'm in the process of working through mine. This might actually be a good show. I'm excited now.
Maybe.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Apologies. I didn't mean to give people false hope right out of the gate. Wow, I'm excited though, Jaymee. Are you excited? Today's Friday finally. The week's.
I'm very excited.
Has it been a good week for you overall?
Yeah, I think so.
Do anything fun this week?
I had a really terrible dinner on Wednesday night.
Shoot, hate when that happens.
No, yeah, it was a good week. Nothing super exciting happened, but coasted through.
Coasted through. Life's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well,
Your week?
You know, my week has been kind of a flash, honestly. Had some good dinners, had some good times, but a lot of my time has just been here.
Have you ever? I know you said last night that you went to Wolf Peach for dinner. Have you ever been there for brunch?
I didn't know they did brunch.
Yeah,
I've only been there for dinner twice. 2 times I've been to Wolf Peach. I've only been there for dinner.
And you enjoy it.
I do. When I don't eat things that try to kill me, then I do, yes. Almost died last night. Brew Sports almost was over last night, accidentally. I'm allergic to apricots, peaches, and nectarines, and decided that last night would be a good time to try some apricots. And thankfully caught it in enough in time, and we're still good. We're still alive.
Here we are.
False alarm.
Kicking.
Everybody's good. No worries. Jaymee was ready to host the show today, though, in the event that I was going to be dead.
Sure was not.
I feel like you and Tanner would have done just fine.
Yeah, if he would be asleep.
Tanner never wakes up in time. No. We need to do our roast of Tanner show, though. Like, we need to figure that out and find 2011 pictures of him, basically. That'd be like, check out how cool he used to be.
Look at how adorable he was.
That would be a great segment. Checking
what
back.
Happened?
Yeah, right. Where are they now? What happened? Tanner Burke, a used to be successful man, now just shell of himself on Brew Sports. I love Tanner Burke. I miss him when he's not here. But I'm more excited that you're here today, Jaymee. What do you have is that like an IPA brew here? What do we got going here?
Harpoon is a brewery out of Boston.
Harpoon.
So we did like a keg tapping at work for them, and they were super cool. So I was like, I'm going to Boston in 3 weeks. They're like, check out our brewery. I was like, okay. And had like the time of my life. So I was like, they let us drink for free. I'll buy a sweatshirt.
I mean, that seems like a pretty...
Yeah. And then I wrote him a letter, and I was like, everything from your reps to the people at your brewery.
You literally wrote them a letter? Like you mailed a letter?
I emailed them.
I was about to say, I was like, who writes letters?
Yeah, I emailed them.
My grandma still writes me letters occasionally. It's the cutest thing. They're always in cursive, though, which I literally have the most difficult time. I've always struggled to read cursive.
Really?
I just can't do it.
My mom used to write me notes a lot. She doesn't anymore. She does not love me, but I think notes are adorable. You can really express what you're trying to say.
It really is. Like, that's like the best thing. Like, I've written my wife a lot of notes like that and letters expressing my feelings for her. And it's like, oh, it's cute. Like, it just doesn't do the same. Like, you could tell me you love me in a text message, but then you could write me a letter like, I love you. I'm like, I believe you more with the handwritten note than I do a text message.
It's nicer to like think out your thoughts before you're just like, Baxter, I love you.
Yeah, I agree. Smart play. Well, folks, we've got some good stuff for you today. Nkwa Asonye is going to be joining us in a little while to talk about the Final Four. It's crazy that it's finally here. It's the final countdown of the Final Four. We can finally stop talking about the Final Four and actually play the games.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I hate about like Super Bowl week and Final Four week. Is like it takes forever to get there, and by the time the games actually happen, you're like, well, I really don't care anymore because I've talked about it too much, and at this point, I just want the games to happen and be over with.
Do you think they have the games on weekends just solely for the viewing?
Yes. Oh, 100%. No one wants to watch a Final Four on a Tuesday afternoon or a Tuesday evening. People want to see them on a Saturday.
Yeah.
The games are at awkward times too. I think it's like 5:09 and 7:49 are the games on Saturday. I'm like, who came up with this idea?
There was a woman last week at work, and she's like, I need a baseball game on or a basketball game on, and I said it was like 12:50. And I was like, okay. She's like, I don't care which one. I just need a basketball game on.
Wow.
I'm like, okay.
First of all, she sounds like she's got some issues.
I'm like, women's UConn is on at 1. Is that what you're looking for? And she's like, no. I'm looking for men's NCAA games. And I said, okay, well, you're going to have to wait till 6:09 and 8:59 tonight or whatever it was. She's like, but I want to watch it now. And I was like, they're not playing.
How it works.
No. And she was like, okay, bye. I was like,
did she sound just like that?
Yeah.
It's like the classic like memes from like, we are women. Yeah, what do we want? Everything. When do we want it? We don't know. It's like, okay.
I need basketball on right now.
Well, good for you. Well, go get ESPN3 or something that you can go back and rewatch.
Yeah, here's women's UConn. Enjoy.
Yeah, they're probably better than some of the men's teams, honestly. All right, Jaymee. So what is brewing in the world of sports this morning as we kick off the program?
A lot of fun things.
A lot of fun things. Yeah. Love fun things.
So yesterday, there was a swarm of bees that took over the Rockies versus Padres game.
That sounds, I don't know. I couldn't think. Sweet? I was trying to find a bee pun in there, and I couldn't.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know. I was trying to like something to do with stinging or buzzing, but I guess I couldn't.
So literally, if you see any of the videos, the bees just like take over.
They really do.
And they're everywhere, and everyone just drops to the ground.
Everyone's like, "Get out! It's
super funny." And they're everywhere.
Like literally everywhere. Like this is a very small video because the reason I'm showing you like the entire Twitter timeline here is because the pictures, like I love these pictures that people post. And then this guy here, CJ's like, well, this sure as hell isn't going to help speed up the game. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Another one, of course, when the staff accidentally turns the alarm system on, people are like, everybody down.
I don't think this is how you baseball.
It is when there's a swarm of bees. Like, look at those.
Yeah.
They're like all up on the field mics. Like, ugh. Have you ever been stung by a bee?
Not in a very, very long time. The last time I think one was in my shoe and I stepped on it.
Oh, that's literally the worst feeling right there. And you're just like, ah.
Yeah. No, I haven't been stung.
Yes. Jeff says good morning on Facebook. Good morning to you, Jeff.
Morning.
Jeff, have you ever been stung by a bee before? Let us know if you've ever been stung by a bee. I think I've only been stung, maybe twice. Maybe. Once for sure. I know that.
Yeah.
I think twice. I think okay. I'm gonna settle with 2 times that I have been stung by said bees.
I feel like it's not like it's there's like games where there's been like a cat on the field or a
how does that happen?
Possum.
I never understand like the stray cats or stray like exotic animals that get onto a field.
It was a Predators game I think, and there was a cat on the ice.
A black cat, right?
Yeah, I think
I thought it was a Predators game. It was like a Predators Blues game or something like that. I thought there was a black cat that wandered onto the ice. Usually somebody's got to bring that with them.
But you can remove that, right? Like you can't remove a swarm of bees.
Of course, something that you can physically catch. Like bees are no one's about that life to try to go and like come here bees.
Right.
Like, and this has happened before in spring training. Like there's some famous like small videos of like the Yankees Red Sox games where like a guy was out in the dugout like holding up like cans of honey, being like, "Hey guys, like come over here," kind of thing. Like, and obviously the bees didn't go, but like people thought it was funny. Like honey. Come here.
And it was a black cat, but it was the Preds Sharks game.
Preds Sharks. Shows how much I know. Jeff says yellow jacket on his pinky finger. No bee stings. I feel like bees are terrifying no matter what.
Well, bumblebees don't try to sting people.
Right.
That's
like the biggest cop out in the world. Like I didn't try to sting you. You just wound up on my stinger. Like
do you think bees or butterflies are cuter?
Butterflies for sure. Butterflies have so much more color and exotic nature about them.
If you really look at a butterfly's face, it's disgusting.
Oh, are we asking about the face, or are we asking about the overall appearance?
Like a face is enough
for me to be like, you're saying a butterfly is a butterface?
Yeah.
It's like, you're pretty butterface.
Like when you go to the museum and you go in the butterfly room, I'm like, oh, you're cute. And then like they're like.
Their face. But the bees got like these
I'm like,
big eyes.
Yeah, and big eyes are cute. I think a bee's face is cute. And they're like fat.
But they've got like this little like kind of thing.
Yeah, but have you really looked at a butterfly? Ugh, they're gross. Yuck.
I mean, I think from an overall aesthetic purpose, I'd rather have a swarm of butterflies invade my baseball game than a swarm of bees instead. Come crashing down upon me. That terrifies me the most, honestly. I don't think I could get on board with something like that. I mean, butterflies I think are. Yeah, butterflies more so for me. I'm #team butterfly. You can be #team
I mean,
bee
I would
like
rather have like bees all over me than butterflies. But if I had to look at 2 of them, I would rather look at a cute little bumblebee than like this gnarly, nasty like.
No. It's not that gnarly. It's not that gnarly.
Their faces and they have all the little feelers. Ugh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Jaymee bugs out over bug faces. Yes, that is very true, Jeff. Thank you for pointing that out. Jeff, the man of the puns, apparently, this morning. If Jaymee isn't going to be the punter, apparently I am, or Jeff will be. What else is brewing? Anything else exciting?
The Rangers seal a 6-year deal And it's very interesting. I'm a fan of it.
So there's a lot of stuff that goes into sometimes securing that high-quality player, right? Sometimes it's, wooing them by bringing them cupcakes. Sometimes it is sending them on an exotic trip. Sometimes it's just giving them a lot of money.
That would be so nice to be like, you want me? I want all this.
Yeah.
I'd be like, here it is.
Yes. Okay, Jaymee, here you are. Come. That's what I basically had to woo you for to be a part of Bruce Sports.
Like, you can sit next to me all day. You can wear a sweatshirt on set.
Yeah, and occasionally, if you ever want to, you could drink, but you never do.
I don't.
Never do. Even though you're just like, what? You're the first person to complain about not drinking, yet you yourself don't drink. Fridge is full, Jaymee.
I know.
Get after it.
I know.
I'm waiting for like Mimosa Mondays or Bloody Mary Mondays.
Oh, Mary Monday.
Mary Monday,
Got it.
You're like, Bloody Mary. There's like no day starts with a B. Like, this is strange.
I was thinking that.
Baxter's so weird.
Oh,
He just likes to hear himself talk. What the heck? Oh, what? Sorry, we're still on? Oh, anyway. That's what I saw going through your head, basically. Just
pretty
like,
much
what
went
is
through my
going
head.
on? So tell me about this deal. What exactly are the Texas Rangers doing for one of their young second basemen?
They signed a 6-year, $49.5 million contract.
Sounds about right.
Along with 2 horses.
I'm sorry, what?
2 horses.
2 horses?
2 horses.
Horses have nothing to do with baseball.
Looks like a horse. Yeah, but if he likes him, why not, right? You want to keep him around? He wants a horse. Do you think that they threw in a horse keeper?
That's he's getting paid $49 million, so I feel like he can afford a horse keeper.
Yeah.
So you think they were a horse apiece then, really, when it came down to it?
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Too soon? Sorry. That was too easy.
His goal for it, though, is to build a ranch and then move his family up here.
Build a ranch and move his family up here. When is he going to build a ranch? He's busy playing baseball for the Texas Rangers.
He's going to have someone else build him a ranch.
I was going to say, it's
And
like, this
then
guy
move
isn't
his
out.
family.
Odor isn't out in the backyard after he just, completed the cycle and helped the Rangers sweep the Orioles in Game 5 of the World Series. He's like, got to go and feed the horses today. Like, is he going to ride? Because spring training last year, a couple of guys rode horses to spring training.
Yeah.
Just for the heck of it. Is he going to ride his horse now to the ballpark?
I don't know,
Where do you
maybe.
park a horse? Does he have a
You could
special
just probably
stall?
tie it up to the fence.
Did he bring it inside the stadium?
I'm sure.
That would be a great promotional, like Odor's, horse bobblehead night. Him on the horse, like bobblehead night. Like that would be phenomenal. You're welcome, Texas Rangers. If you never thought of that, I want 40%.
It says too that he ultimately took like a $3 million. I don't want to say cut, but it was below.
Well, how much does a horse cost? What's the going rate?
But it wasn't for the horse. He knew that part of the deal was horses and being able to move his family here. So he took a lower pay
right
for the horses and his family being here.
I'm just. What does a horse cost?
A lot. It depends on what kind.
What does a horse cost? I'm going to Google this
Well,
right
it
now.
depends on what kind of horse. Horses can be $1,000.
Well, yeah, of course. There's a purebred. There's all kinds of stuff. How much does a horse cost? Let's see here. What does a horse cost? $1.5 million. $325. Yeah, apparently people don't know.
It says when he was asked what kind of horses he wanted, he said, or what kind of horses they were, he said, a brown one and a white one.
So, he doesn't even care.
Yeah, it was probably for his little sister.
What? His little sister?
Who's moving up here? That's what it all comes back to.
Okay, it's all about the family, I guess. Literally has nothing to do with him. He just is like, I'm going to go play baseball.
What a guy.
Y'all have a good day. Yeehaw. Go Rangers.
Yeah.
What would be the ultimate signing bonus for you? Aside from getting lots of money, if someone was like, look, I'll give you $50 million, but I will also give you this so you can come be a part of my whatever, my team, my organization, whatever.
Unlimited massages.
Unlimited massages.
Yep.
In what regards? Just give me the shoulder rub, full body,
No.
What are we doing here?
All of it.
Full body massage, multiple times a day, just
whenever I want.
Whenever any beck and call.
Yep.
You just have a personal masseuse that follows you.
Yep.
It's like, all right, Jaymee, whoosh, here's a table, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
What would you pick?
Oh boy.
That or unlimited mashed potatoes and cheeseburgers.
I would want I'd love a tapper in my room full of wine, at all times. Or orange juice on tap as well, too.
Orange juice.
Love orange juice. Yeah, or a personal chef.
Okay, that'd be a good one, too. Yeah. But I definitely like massages way more than I like eating.
Or a hot tub. I like hot tubs.
That's all. It would take a $2,000 hot tub.
Who says it's going to be a $2,000 hot tub? Maybe I've got really high expectations for how big my hot tubs are. No? Better not? Okay, fair enough. Anything else, Bruin, or do we need to move along with the program here?
I believe that we can move along.
Oh, well, phenomenal. Liz says good morning. Good morning to you, Liz. Hope your day is going well. It's my wife, if you didn't know.
I think everybody knows.
Do they know?
Mm-hmm.
You think the people know who my wife is?
I think they do.
Tell the people who they... Yes, I understand that.
This is my wife.
My wife, Liz, everybody. Thank you. She's the best. Hi, Liz. Love you. Anyway, she's like, would you stop? I can just hear her being like, okay, Max, like, you're totally done. All right, let's move along with the show. Let's actually talk about sports with someone that is very well versed in it. It is one of our basketball correspondents, Nkwa Asonye. Nkwa, a very good Friday to you, sir. How are we doing today?
Good morning.
How are we doing?
Not bad.
Oh, good. I was hoping for a little bit more pomp and circumstance here from you, and I was like, good morning. You're like, good morning. I'm
like come on. You get that later on in the segment. That's what you pay.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I gotta ease you into the pomp and circumstance here. My bad. But Nkwa, we're excited to have you back on the show today. Of course, I feel like we can finally put all this Final Four stuff to rest because the games are finally taking place tomorrow. Are you, first and foremost, do you think there's too much of a gap between the Elite Eight to Final Four games when they actually take place?
Not at all. The thing is, it's the standard gap between every round of the NCAA tournament anyway. And I know teams, from reading books and from hearing them talk, I know teams would rather have a quicker turnaround between rounds. But with that being said, this is the biggest weekend of the year. I know coaches will appreciate the extra time to prepare. And I know the players, whether they know it or not, they'll want that rest because once that weekend starts, it's all go from there.
All right, so of course the one storyline that everybody's talking about is South Carolina. South Carolina. If you haven't heard, South Carolina. So what exactly is the realistic expectation here for South Carolina? Because, of course, everybody loves the underdog. Everybody wants to look for Cinderella. They believe that Cinderella is actually a Gamecocks fan. That's what's on her little glass slipper. Do we need to continue to invest time in believing that Cinderella is going to be South Carolina? Are they going to beat Gonzaga? Is South Carolina and Frank Martin going to go to the national championship?
Well, when you're in the Final Four, you've earned the right to really be anything you want to be. You've earned the right for people to say, you know what, they can win it because you're one of the last four teams standing. What we've learned about South Carolina to this very point, they're really disruptive, and they don't care whether you expect them to win or not. They'll make the game as ugly as possible and make you play their game. I think they can do that with Gonzaga. I personally picked Gonzaga to win, but no, I wouldn't be surprised if South Carolina made it to Monday at all.
Did you pick Gonzaga to win it all? Or, like, I did not, but I have them advancing. Obviously, I don't have South Carolina in my bracket.
Yeah, same here.
Literally anywhere. But do you expect, I mean, you just said you wouldn't be surprised to see an upset, but do you really, really think it's possible?
No, I really think it's possible. And for the record, since we're talking about dead brackets, I picked Villanova to repeat. So there we go with that.
Yeah, I had Michigan, so I've been the joke of the office here, basically. People are like, why did you take Michigan? Because you weren't all laughing after they beat Louisville. And I was like, hey,
exactly.
I'm smart.
And I picked them to go to the Final Four anyway. So let's be real about that. But what I like, again, what it is with South Carolina is that you looked at the game they played against Florida, a seemingly more dynamic team, and South Carolina out-toughed them. It's going to be really hard to do that against Karnowski and the rest of that Gonzaga front line, and Nigel Williams-Goss is an All-American. But if there's a team that is able to do that, South Carolina is that team. Plus, Sindarius Thornwell got outright snubbed anyway. He's played great basketball all year long, and maybe it'll be extra motivation for him. Although, if you're in the last weekend of the year, what extra motivation do you need?
Looking here at ESPN and the odds that they have going on, South Carolina has the hardest odds. They have an 8-1 opportunity to win, according to the Westgate Las Vegas Superbook. Gonzaga, a 7-5. North Carolina an 8-5, and Oregon a 4-1 favorite. Of course, the other Cinderella side of it. I'm kind of done talking about Cinderella, but I mean, you've got Oregon on the other side there. Everyone's been like, well, who knew they were going to be this good without Chris Boucher? Okay, the honest truth is they are. They're very good even without Chris Boucher. Are they good enough, though, to beat UNC, who has this redemption mindset, so that way they can finally get over the fact that they lost on a last-second shot to Villanova last year?
See, that's the thing. I'm not so sure that they are. And it has nothing to do with losing Chris Boucher. Let's be honest. For those of us in the Midwest and the East Coast, we don't often get to see Pac-12 teams play. By the time most of the good games tip off, we're either asleep or, for some of us, we're at work. It's really hard to keep up with Pac-12 basketball. And people from the West Coast have been saying all year, yes, Oregon is this good. Yes, Oregon had the potential to go to a Final Four, so they're not really surprised. But even looking at them play throughout the tournament, I still think that North Carolina is deeper, and I think that North Carolina's mindset really does pay off for them. Because it's one thing to be a team with nothing to lose, so you throw everything out. It's quite another to be the team that feels like they have everything to lose, so they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep it that way.
I think Baxter and I talked either earlier this week or sometime last week of one seeds who play lower seeds. They're they're pretty relaxed.
Yeah,
and
usually.
That's why sometimes they get their butts kicked. Do you think going into the Final Four, these higher seed teams are still in the back of their heads like, we're number one seed, like, whatevs, we got this, or whatever? I don't know what really goes through their head, but that's probably what would go through mine. I'd be like, still number one, don't care.
Probably do the hair flip too.
If that happens and Coach Few or Coach Williams sees it for either team, whatever player feels that way will not play.
Okay.
Makes sense.
There is no time to take seeding into account. You're one of the last four teams standing, and it doesn't matter whether that team like South Carolina wasn't expected to be here or whether Oregon was kind of on the fence. You didn't know what they would be without Chris Boucher. You didn't know whether their high-octane brand of basketball would translate well to the tournament. But they're who you're facing. There is no longer a time to take seeding into account. You play.
I'm curious, switching away from the briefly, I'm looking here. Last night, TCU defeated Georgia Tech in the NIT final, 88-56. Okay, you did watch that. Okay, so one of the things on our halftime show yesterday is that people really just don't seem to care about the NIT. Honestly, I continue to forget that it's still going on. From someone like you that said you actually watched the game, I'm curious to get your thoughts. So TCU, their very first ever postseason, title that they've claimed in basketball. What'd you think of the game?
First off, the NIT gets incredibly disrespected despite the history, despite the fact that good NIT teams barely missed out on the tournament, either because the schedule might not have been strong enough, or maybe they had a great regular season, but in their conference tournament they slipped up. People really disrespect the fact that the NIT is still a fantastic tournament. When you have games played on campus sites, it adds a brand new element to everything that each program that's in the tournament wants out of that year. As far as the game itself, you look at two teams that improved way quicker than anybody expected. Georgia Tech wasn't supposed to win an ACC game this year. They won 8. TCU wasn't supposed to be anything in the Big 12. They knocked off Kansas in the first round of the Big 12 tournament, and you see how well they played, winning their first ever national title. It's still a national title. You still had to play big-time programs, and even those mid-major programs that are fighting for extra relevance, you still had to play them to get here. That's huge, and that matters. And especially for TCU, who 4 years ago didn't win a game in the Big 12, excuse me. And now with Jamie Dixon, who goes back to his alma mater to take them to a 22-win season and a national title, guess what? An NIT title may not have all the glam of going to a Sweet 16 or an Elite 8, but it's still a national title.
That is true.
Respect.
You're right. I agree with you on that one in the sense that it still is a huge accomplishment to win a title like that against some of the nations. Yes, it's not it's not a Kansas, but at the same time, you're still fighting against teams that are battle-tested and they're all season long. This isn't like 10 teams that showed up at a pickup basketball game like, well, let's see what happens. Like, guys are still trying to win a title at the end of the day, so I think that it is certainly commendable in that regard. One of the other things I wanted to ask you about before we let you go, TJ Leaf and Lonzo Ball both declaring for the NBA draft. The one-and-dones are really starting to fire me up and honestly really starting to upset me because these guys, if we've never seen a more blown-out two players in all of college, might be two of these now. They're 18 years old. They barely know how to tie their shoes, let alone shoot a three-point form. How in the world are these guys going to, A, be successful at the NBA, and B, that college basketball needs to at least implement bare minimum a just a 1-year rule?
Oh, college basketball.
It's frustrating. It really is.
What's most frustrating about college basketball is this sort of sanctimonious quality that they have about them. Let's be honest. Many of these coaches in Power 5 conferences make millions of dollars a year. And with those millions of dollars, they're supposed to recruit the best players available who, yes, get national exposure, but are also the reason that jerseys and tickets fly off the shelves. But then you tell them, oh, but we're not going to give you anything. The exposure, despite all the workouts, despite having to juggle going to class, because, yes, despite a lot of what people assume about student athletes, a lot of these kids do have to go to class. And frankly, when you look at somebody like Lonzo Ball or TJ Leaf, forget a mandatory 2-year rule. If you want to make a mandatory rule, do it the way baseball does it. Either let them declare for the draft out of high school, or then, you let them stay for 2 or 3 years. But if you're making them go to college, don't be mad if they leave after only 1 year. It doesn't make sense that people want to kill these kids for trying to make money. I mean, Steve Jobs dropped out of college to found Apple.
Right.
Nobody cared. Tiger Woods played golf, a sport that nobody really cares about. He dropped out at Stanford, and his name was all over the golf circuit for the better part of a decade, maybe 2. So I don't like it when these kids who want to see what they're worth, TJ Leaf and Lonzo Ball, who will both be lottery picks, by the way.
Of course.
I don't like it when people try to throw those kids under the bus and say that they're doing a disservice, when, quite frankly, they're doing what they're supposed to do, what's best for themselves and what's best for their families. They don't owe it to anybody to stay. If you can go get your money, get your money.
That's true. At the end of the day, I mean, it's all about the money, unfortunately, for those of you, though, that even actually care about playing the game of basketball. It's like, look, I just want to make money and go and be famous because we're very much now-centered society. So, you can't blame the guys to an extent.
Do you think it hurts them in the long run, though? Like Baxter said, they can barely tie their shoes. You go from someone who isn't getting paid at all to throwing $5 million in their lap. You don't even know what to do with that type of money at 18 years old. When I started,
I'm 25 and I barely would know what to do with $5 million.
Right,
honestly.
like I feel like as a person, more than just an athlete, it might be worse. I understand the reasoning behind it of why you would want to just go and make money. That's the goal of everybody.
Right.
At the end of the day, you want to make money to provide for your family and yourself and whatever. But as a person, like that's an entire life change. I don't know if they can handle that. And I was explaining to Baxter before, because all I know is really hockey. They have juniors, and then there's college, and then there's the pros. And so it can take someone, 2 years of juniors. They start college at 20, they get done at 24, and then they can go and play in the pros, so they can adapt to a normal adult life and learn the struggles of an everyday person, rather than just being like, yesterday you got paid nothing. Today, here's $5 million.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me, honestly, and I think you're almost trying to set these kids up for failure, and especially these one-and-dones. I feel like there needs to be an evaluation process. I mean, LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, I know, are like once-in-a-lifetime talents, but those guys came out of high school, and nobody really batted an eye too much about it. But, like, you got Alonzo Ball or a TJ Leaf. Will they be good players? Sure. They're good players. They're smart players, but at the same time, they are still so young and so raw. The first time TJ Leaf tries to go for a dunk against DeMarcus Cousins, he's probably going to get sent to the hospital because DeMarcus Cousins is a real man, and TJ Leaf is still trying to figure out how to do calculus because he's still 18 years old and maybe just got his driver's license. Like that blows my mind that we're so quick to give these guys money and throw all this time and investment into them, because I don't know how much of a consistent and dominant force they're going to even be in the NBA at such a young age.
And that's exactly why NBA GMs wanted that one-and-done rule implemented in the first place, because the GMs, whose job it was to evaluate these players, made wrong picks. So really, the implementation of that NCAA rule was really to cover their behinds because they were tired of wasting millions of dollars on lottery picks. So, yeah, they get 1 year of seeing these kids against other types of competition. But I think we should also keep this in mind. I don't think that staying in college is any guarantee that all of a sudden that kid's going to learn how to handle money.
Right.
And for many of these young athletes who come in with the intention of being one and done, they've been training for this for years.
Yes.
And it's not just on the basketball front. They are already being taught right now how to deal with money, how to talk to the press, how to avoid being around the wrong people. This generation of basketball players, people can say whatever they want about their skill development, but they come in a lot smarter than those of yesteryear. And I think those of yesteryear want to sort of rein them in a little bit and say, this is how things are supposed to be done, when in reality, the world that they lived in versus the world it is today, they're both two completely different things. And this generation, for better or for worse, had to grow up a lot quicker.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one, honestly, Nkwa. But at the end of the day, is this something that the NBA is going to change? Probably not, unfortunately. I do find it that I believe we were talking about this yesterday, that the MLB actually does it right, where you have the option, if you get drafted in high school, then you can either go and try to be a part of the minor league system, or if you opt out and go to college, you have to play a minimum of 3 years of college baseball before you're actually allowed to be eligible for the MLB draft. So I think that they're at least doing that right. I think you need 3 years to be able to play in the NFL. Some people might even say sometimes even 4 years isn't enough for some of those guys. But at the end of the day, though, basketball is such an individual sport that it almost to an extent doesn't matter if you're 18 or if you're 25 when you come out of college. So something to keep an eye on, I guess, as we move forward. But we appreciate you taking the time to join us on the show this morning. Where can people continue to follow you on the social media universe?
On Twitter at N_ASONYE. I behave when I want to. Thanks,
I appreciate that, Nkwa. We'll talk to you soon, sir. Thank you very much.
Take care.
All right, we'll talk to him soon. That goes Nkwa Asonye, one of our basketball correspondents in general, Smarties here on the Brew Sports Network. We are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will be here with some more exciting sports action. Stay tuned for more here on Brew Sports. It is the Morning Brew. We'll be back with more right after this. And welcome back to the Morning Brew here on Brew Sports. We welcome you back inside the studio. I am Baxter Colburn. That's Jaymee Evers. Hi, Jaymee. How are you?
I'm great, Baxter.
Jaymee, what are you drinking?
It's in front of me.
Ah, so it's a prop.
Yes.
Is that water or coffee?
Uh-huh. Both.
Yeah, it's the best water I've ever had. Well, welcome back inside the studio. We are excited to re-up and get moved back on the road here. A great conversation with Nkwa Asonye. I think he just made some phenomenal points, honestly, just about the tournament as a whole and just the one-and-dones. That fires me up because I just get so upset about 18-year-old kids being like, yeah, I think I'm good enough. Like, half of the NBA players that played 4 years of college basketball are not even good enough to be in the NBA. What makes you think an 18-year-old is going to actually be successful?
Right, and I think that they're just, like we were saying before, there comes a lot with it. It's not just, can you handle a ball? Can you shoot a ball? Can you dribble a ball? Like, mentally, there's a lot
of pressure.
Yeah.
I just don't think that these kids are capable of doing something like that.
I also can't imagine having the confidence to be like, I'm as good as LeBron. Look out, world. Here I come.
And that's the thing. I don't know if these kids are coming out and saying, I'm as good as LeBron, but at the same time,
they have to think something similar to that.
You have to think that you can go stand on a court with LeBron James or Chris Paul or virtually anybody else that has had a successful career and compete with them. And I don't think that that's a realistic option for guys like Lonzo Ball and TJ Leaf. I honestly believe the first time TJ Leaf, who is a big post player, goes up to take a dunk, I truly believe that LeBron James is going to send him to the hospital. Like, he is just going to get
sit down, boy,
curb stomped, and he'll be like, all right, that's why they call me the king, baby. I'm sure he'd probably say a different word, but
baby.
I'm going to say baby. Like, sit down, baby. Little TJ. I mean, your last name is Leaf. Like, how strong can you actually be?
Right. Yep.
Shaking like a leaf.
Flimsy little thing.
Yeah, exactly. Butterflies, leaves, so many weak things. Too weak for us. You weak sauce, get out. Ain't nobody got time for that. Cheers, by the way. To water.
Sorry, work. There it was. 1 month in.
Huzzah!
First sip of beer.
So proud.
Live.
And in person.
At 7:42.
Life is good.
It's fine.
Life is very good right now. Well, Jamie, where should we go? Our show was phenomenal, and then it got drop-kicked inadvertently, and now we're back. I mean, Fridays are Jamie Rant days. It's also a Flashback Friday. I've got some new overrateds for you as well, too. If we needed to throw some yes drama out there, we can go really anywhere we want to.
Yeah, why don't we go with since we got derailed a little, let's just do a overrated, underrated.
An overrated, underrated.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got some overrated things for you today.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. And, of course, you, as you're tuning in as well, make sure you comment if you think what we're talking about is or is not overrated. I've got a couple for you here. The very first one, the classic. So if you've got a grandma or an aunt or anybody over the age of 40, basically, and if they're retired and or stay at home a lot, there's one thing that they have to do.
Watch Game Network.
Also true.
Game Show Network.
Also true.
Soap operas.
Soap operas. Are soap operas overrated? Is Julio sleeping with Julia overrated for the 84th time?
Yes.
But he still is in love with Maria. But Maria is actually has a father who used to abuse her, but she's actually in love with her cousin, who's actually her niece's son.
Overrated.
Very much so.
I don't know if I've ever actually watched a soap opera.
Not on purpose for me, at least. I've never flipped on and be like, oh, General Hospital's on, or Days of Our Lives are on. Like, hit me up, folks. Let's go.
If I was sick and staying home from school,
I would sleep.
I would definitely watch Jerry Springer.
Oh, my gosh. You're not the father.
Oh! Yeah, that was my jam.
I could see you being like, Jamie from Sheboygan. Like, yeah. Yeah. But, like, at the same time, like, I feel like you would have been a character on that. I'd be like, let's see, we have Jamie from Sheboygan, and we have Carl. Carl believes he is not the father of Jamie's baby.
And I'd be like, I know who my baby daddy is.
Like,
And I would have been right.
Oh.
Yep.
Just to clarify, Jamie does not have a baby.
No babies.
So there's no need for her said baby daddy. For those of you that were sitting there at home being like, Jamie's got a kid. Like, no, Jamie does not have a kid. I have a kid, thankfully. Love my boy.
Thankfully, I do not.
Thankfully, I do not. Jamie still has a lot of life things to figure out before she can venture to that. Number one would be to get a date. That's step one.
You don't need a date to have a baby. Let me just say that. Just kidding.
You're not wrong. You're totally not wrong. So soap operas, overrated.
All right.
Question number 2 for overrated. Is going out overrated? Like, get the girls, Snapchat that you know what, let's go out, let's drink, let's be stupid white girls.
I will be honest, I honestly don't know if I've ever had, like, a girls' night out. Like,
What?
I've never, like, had my girlfriends come over and, like, we all get ready and we drink some wine and then we're like, woo, let's go out. Like, I don't think that has ever...
Takes you, like, 12 hours to get ready. You're listening to, like, loud music.
Yeah,
like,
I don't have enough
selfies.
girlfriends to, like, make that a thing.
No?
I have, like, my guy friends have come over and I've, like, gotten ready and then
let's
we all
go
go
out.
out. Yeah, like, let's
Get some Miller.
Let's check these high lives. But yeah, I don't think I've ever had a girls' night out. So I'll say that's overrated because the one time I did something like that was a bachelorette party.
Woo!
And I was like, this is dumb. Like, I don't
really
want to
is.
dress up for the Kentucky Derby and paint a picture and then spend a lot of money on food that everyone's going to complain about to go home to change into a different dress to go out. Throw a case of Spotted Cow in front of me and let me wear some sweatpants.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Chuck on Facebook says, going out was the thing in my early 20s. Way too old for that these days. Come on, Chuck. You're still a young guy.
Chuck's a young buck.
Chuck, cheers to Chuck. Chuckaroo, Chuckery. How many things else can we rhyme with Chuck? Well,
That's all I got.
There's one word, but I like my job. So, talking about pucks with Chuck. Going out. It is incredibly overrated because how often do those people just never find love, or are the ones that like, I've slept with 43 people because I don't want a commitment.
I don't know
it's like, stop going out. Stop being stupid.
I don't know if everyone's end goal of going out is to meet somebody. Like, sometimes you just want to go out to, like, either get hammered because you had a bad day.
Don't you really, though?
But I don't, like,
you want to make a bad decision. That's what you go out for, usually.
I don't think that's true. I'm not like, I'm out. Let's see who my prey can be tonight. Like, I'm sure some people are like that, but I'm like, I just want to get hammered.
What?
Chucked up.
Chuck has turned into the beep button.
So,
yeah.
I think I'm pretty guilty for it, but I think going out, recently I've been good.
Bruce says I was out far too late last night, 5 a.m. The fact that and that's the next thing, when people are like going out, like, you need to go home before the day is over. When you say, oh, I came home from going out last night, this morning, that's a problem. In my book. Like, I don't mind partying until 11, maybe midnight, maybe. I'm a parent, so I like to be in bed by like 9:15 if I'm lucky. Like, I value my 6 hours or my 7 hours that I maybe get to sleep before my son wakes up.
Very, very bad at being like, want to eat bar? Yeah, I do. Like, Jamie, go home. Go home. Get some sleep. I'm terrible with that.
You're okay.
Like, I'm like, yeah, I'll stay out. Like, I love people.
Jamie's like, let's
people,
go.
I want to be there. Jamie, go home.
How does Jamie transition from like Jamie to like Jamie? Like by the end of the night, like
couple shots of Jameson.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Like I'll be like, I'm gonna only drink beer, and then I'm like, I'm not drunk enough. Bring on the shots, and then I'm like,
it's like 2 hours later, Jamie's spinning on a chair with her shirt off, just like, woo.
Close stay on usually. I'm not a woo girl.
She said She said usually there. Did you hear that word at the end there? Like, close stay on. Usually. Like, she tried to, like, just, like, bloop, and, like, walk away from it.
My clothes definitely stay on. But I definitely like to have too much fun.
Like to have too much fun. We like to party. We like to party.
Like to party. I need to turn this hangover around. Can only do that by drinking some more brew.
It's true. Caleb says it's great at Applebee's for Long Island's and half-price apps. Hashtag party on a budget. Hashtag don't judge me. I love Applebee's Long Island.
They're like $3, right?
Yeah, you can get just obliterated at Applebee's for like $15. You can't buy a good drink going out for anything less than like 10 to 12.
I just got a gift card for Applebee's, so maybe I'll have to take advantage of that.
I agree. Bruce says, what about fourth meal, Baxter? No, there should really only be 3 meals. Only should be 3 meals, in my personal opinion, because...
He didn't even make it out to meal 3 when I met you guys out.
Because I was tired and so was my wife, okay? You can't blame me for that.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm sorry that your night was just beginning at 11 p.m.
It was. I just got off work.
It's a lot of malice here, folks. If you're listening to what Jamie's throwing some hard shade at me, I'm like, listen, got a family, got not kids. I don't know why I was going to say kids. It's just the natural progression of that kind of a rant. But anyway, listen, Jamie, you're still young. You're also still very just loving life. Not that I don't love my life.
Baxter's saying that as I'm older than him, and he's only saying I got a life to live because I'm single. That's what he's getting at, guys. Small jabs. Whatever. It's okay. It's okay.
You're 100% correct, though. I would much rather stay at my house and host a party and go to bed at 2 a.m. I'm more about that.
I would prefer...
I am more that. I would rather if I'm going to drink at all excessively, I want to be on my cozy couch, having nachos, playing games on my living room floor with my best friends.
Yeah.
That's how I want to get. If I'm ever going to get drunk, which never happens, that's how I would do it.
We'll make it happen.
Okay, great. Yeah, Brew says Baxter did turn in early while we were all turned up that night. Yeah, we all heard about that night, Brew, okay? I think the police report is still yet to be officially filed on that one. And Chuck says, with a name like Brewer, it's hard to think that you're staying out that late. Yeah, it's right. Chuck is agreeing about that one. So are we both agreeing going out is overrated? Is that where we're coming back to this at the beginning here? Here's one that I think my wife and I argue about a lot in a friendly manner. Is showering daily overrated? No, it's not. Showering every day is a necessity and a need to be a professional and or just a decent human being. I love you, sweetheart, but I need to shower every day.
Okay, it depends. Are you showering like head to toe? Because you're not supposed to wash your hair every day.
My hair looks fine.
Right, but just a quick like body wash, not your hair, totally acceptable.
Well, if I shower twice a day, I won't wash my hair one of those 2 times. But I wash my hair daily.
Right, which is okay, but like Liz doesn't need to.
Right. Well, it's different for women, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot more going on.
So showering your skin daily, necessary.
Sure. I agree.
Washing your hair daily, not. Thank you, whoever invented dry shampoo. Thank you.
Very smart idea when you really think about it.
So showering daily, yes?
Yes is overrated?
I think so. From what I just said, you should shower every day. But you don't have to shower.
So showering daily is not overrated, though. Kind of what you're saying.
Yeah. Showering your body daily, underrated. Showering your hair every day, overrated.
Gotcha.
I stand. That's it.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad we got there. We got there eventually. Good Lord. So I believe that showering daily is not overrated. Bruce says shower twice a day even. Yeah, I shower. I do enjoy a shower after a long day, going home and just sitting in the shower. Like, I will sometimes just lay on the floor of my shower and just be like, this is nice. 'Cause it's a long day sometimes. I just need hot water and just the noise of the fan just to take me to another world for a little while.
Whenever I go to hotels and they have a huge bathtub, it's the first thing I do is take a bath because I don't fit in bathtubs because I'm too long. So usually like my knees are out of the water, so I never get to take baths. So if I go to a hotel and they have an awesome bathtub, like, excuse me, we're going to be late. I got to soak in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't get to do it ever.
I agree. Robert says shower every day for sure. Going out overrated unless you need a beer because your tooth just got pulled. I don't know if that's the dentist recommendation for what you should do after you just got a tooth pulled, but if that helps numb the pain, I guess, then to each their own.
Yeah, true.
All right. Cheers to you, Robert. 2 more for you here. Are bagels overrated? I feel like they were hot for a long time. Like, bagels were the hot thing. Everybody, there was bagel stores, there was the bagel this, there was the bagel that. I love bagels. Are bagels overrated?
I love bagels, but I love bread. So, and I don't think that they're overrated because you can do so much with them. You can make a bagel sandwich. You could eat them with butter. You could eat them with peanut butter. You could eat them with cream cheese. You could eat them as just like a turkey sandwich. You could eat them with over easy eggs on them. Underrated. Yep.
Yep, underrated as well, too. Bagels are a necessity and a way of life.
There's poppy seed bagels, there's cheese bagels, there's plain bagels, there's blueberry bagels if you like that sort of thing.
I brought blueberry bagels with me today.
There's chocolate chip bagels, there's...
Everything bagels.
Yeah. Bagels.
Yeah,
underrated.
Bagels. Donuts are obviously, if people would say, is the contrast to a bagel. You know, for the most part, like you either want a donut or you want a bagel in the morning, usually, right?
Sure.
But like you said, bagels, there is far more health options for a bagel, where donuts you just don't care about yourself and don't care about your hips.
Donuts are like a treat.
Well, they are, of course, yeah. But like bagels are like a way of life. They really are.
I like them.
Bruce says bagels are terrible in Milwaukee. I don't know if I agree with that. I've had some good bagels here.
Yeah.
Panera makes a good bagel.
Yeah, but you can get that bagel anywhere.
Well, depends on the person making it, though. Just because it's Panera bagel doesn't mean they like make them in Seattle, wherever they're from, and then ship them out. They make them in
whatever
store.
Baxter.
Jim from the block down the block there is making my bagel every morning at Panera because Jim is the master. I don't know. Bruce says, you ever bring a chair in the shower? I do that at hotels.
I don't.
Can't say that I do. I usually just lay on the floor of the tub. Or the shower as a whole. Or I'll sit. I don't need to bring a chair in. I guess I also have never I don't know if I've only been in a shower that would be big enough for a chair a couple of times.
Yeah, I've never showered sitting in a chair.
Can't say I have either. Robert says Einstein bagels are the best. I like the salmon topper. Salmon on a bagel.
I've heard of it.
Curious. Very curious. Last thing for us for an overrated segment is are memes overrated?
No, they're funny.
They are used all the time.
They're funny. I like witty people. They're funny. I think using them too much is what makes them overrated. But memes as a whole, underrated for sure.
Because I feel like you said, I enjoy the funny side of it, but when you really break it down, it's like, okay, guys, I don't need a meme for everything. The fact that you can now meme and text messages and meme for Facebook and all this other stuff sometimes gets a little annoying. The GIFs are really what gets me, though, because people are like, I'm going to GIF and GIF and GIF. I'm like, would you just not, please? There's too many GIFs in this world.
I like GIFs. If you look at my Twitter, I really like GIFs.
You're a GIFer?
Yeah. I try to not, because sometimes I'm like, God, they're kind of annoying.
Save one for the GIFer.
But sometimes I think that they're appropriate.
Of course, in the right context, of course.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost a cop-out for you as a funny person, though. It's like, I'm not funny enough to make a joke, so I'm going to turn to Jimmy Fallon or this one cat falling off of a shelf to represent my life.
Yeah, that's why I talk on here, because I'm funny, and people make me as a GIF.
True. Bruce says, why am I so angry? I don't feel like I'm angry. Am I angry?
I don't think so.
Robert says, my grandma had bad hips, so we would put a chair in the shower for her. Yeah, that makes total sense. I've seen that done for older folks. That
yeah.
Makes total sense.
Brew doesn't have bad hips. He's just a lazy bum. Sorry.
Calling him out. All right, Flashback Friday or Jamie's Ranch? Where do we go? What do we do?
I don't know if we have time for my rant, but I'll make it really quick.
Yeah, go, rant.
I hate that athletes think it is okay. Not okay, but like, you make a lot of money. Why are you spending it on drugs? You know it's bad. You know you're going to get caught. You know you're going to get either kicked off your team. You're going to have to sit forever. No one's going to want to pick you up because you're a drug addict. Stop doing it. You have so much money. There's so much more you could do with it. Why turn to cocaine or heroin or whatever rich drug people do? Stop doing it. It's dumb. So dumb.
You're right. I completely agree with you on that.
Well, like the whole Lamar
No,
Odom
I get what you're saying, though. Lamar Odom is an idiot.
Like, come on.
Yeah. And then he'll come out to, I think he just came out this last week, he's like, I regret doing drugs and I regret my affairs.
Duh.
Well, yeah.
Because now your life is effed.
Right.
Your life is chucked up.
And he's forever remembered as the ex-husband of Khloe Kardashian instead of an NBA player.
Right.
Because he's an idiot.
I did see Chris Humphries on TV that day, though. Looking good. Chris Humphries. He dated Kim Kardashian for 72 days.
72 days.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Kim?
Mm-hmm.
Were they married for 72 days?
Yeah, married.
That's right. Kim and Kanye. Two people that need to just go away.
If we had more time, I'd rant more about the drugs. I just don't understand. I don't. And that's what I'm saying, too, with like these young guys, right?
Yes.
They're going to get $5 million. They don't know what to spend their money on. Jimmy, from his childhood, who he grew up with, was like, hey, man, cocaine's really cheap this week. We should try it. And then...
Buy one, get one at the local crack corner.
Yeah, and then he's going to throw his life away and become the next Lamar Odom. Like, I just don't understand.
It doesn't make sense to me. You'd like to think that you were raised with enough moral standing to know that you don't need to just get loaded every night, whether that be alcohol or, drugs. Like, if you're going to do something like, I have no problem if you want to buy, 12 cars, sure.
Right.
To an extent, you can't really get in trouble with 12 cars.
Like, my idea of fun is not going to whomever and giving them, I don't even know what drugs cost, $1,000 for $1,000 worth of meth. Like, I could buy $1,000.
It's a lot of meth.
Down payment on a jet ski, or I don't even know how much jet skis cost. But like that, I would rather buy a jet ski than some cocaine.
Good. I'm proud of you.
And like Lamar Odom should do the same thing.
Well, I mean, when you've got millions of dollars, though, it's like $1,000 is just like, us throwing $1 on the offering plate at church. Like, it's nothing.
Right. So buy a bunch of jet skis so all your friends can play with them.
A fleet of jet skis.
A fleet, a flock.
A flock. A gaggle.
So like you and your 10 friends can jet ski together. Like, no one needs 10 jet skis, but like how fun would it be for you and 10 of your friends to go jet ski?
If I called you up, you're like,
Super
Jamie,
fun.
like, I got 6 jet skis. Get on over.
Like, okay. I would quit whatever I'm doing, even if it was like, I don't know, work, bye, sick, gotta go. Yeah.
Just don't Instagram that shit.
I was going to say I'd cancel lunch with my grandma, but I would never do that, so I had to think of something else. But yeah, it drives me crazy. I don't understand.
I agree. Let us know if you agree with Jamie's rant. Let us know about anything we talked about. Robert says drugs are bad. Okay. Yeah, I agree. They are. They're very bad. Bruce says, have you seen people that do meth? They don't have $1,000. Well, yeah, usually how that works.
They lose it all to meth. I was just naming off drugs, Brew. I don't got to get so specific.
That's true. And Bruce says, I'm not lazy, Jamie. Once you bring a chair into the shower, you'll understand the mysticism. I just feel like Brood showers on another level. There's a lot going on with that, Brew. A lot going on. Do you understand the mysticism?
No.
I don't either. There's a lot going on. A lot of people, a lot of things, a lot of stuff. Strange. But I do agree, though. Drugs are bad, as Jamie was ranting about, so do not do drugs. Hashtag.
Do not do drugs.
Are drugs overrated, Jamie?
Yes.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I agree. But I agree that there is a rising problem for sure, though, and I think that is why the one-and-dones or just rookies as a whole should be put through counseling, even if they are the most stand-up guys in the world, because once you suddenly hit $20 million in your bank account, suddenly your life takes a whole nother sort of meaning. It's like, I can literally go and do anything I want to.
Right.
And no one's going to tell me no. Like, that's the first time for some of these guys they've ever had said freedom in their life. And they just can feel like they can go do whatever they want with it now. And it's very scary. And a lot of these guys have maybe a week or two of fun, and then after that they're like, wow, that was a lot. I no longer, have a life or a license because I was an idiot or I did something stupid and now I'm in jail. Like, is it worth it? Is it really worth it?
Nope.
Doesn't make sense to me. Be smart. My advice to you.
From words to the wise.
From words to the wise, from one fellow to another. Be smart. All right, Flashback Friday as we get out of here. Anything that we talked about over the week in the sports world that warranted a brought back up. We did overrate it earlier in the week. We talked about if spring was overrated. We've had a lot of different fun stuff. We saw a girl playing bowling with a golf ball. We talked about Colin Kaepernick.
The women's golf was on TV yesterday. I'm not sure what it was. I wasn't really paying attention. There was a little girl from Asia who was like 13.
Mm-hmm.
And she started playing when she was 11 in a professional. Like, what?
Yeah.
11?
What are you doing with your life, Jaymee?
At 11, I don't even think not that. Not at 11 and not now. At 11, I think I had like my first boyfriend. So I was learning what eyeliner was, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Jaymee at 11.
No.
Somebody get that on file.
Was not great.
Get an intern on that.
Was not great.
Yeah. I would love for that. At 11, I don't know, what was I doing? I was memorizing the Green Bay Packers rosters and playing football with myself in the backyard because I was homeschooled. I actually enjoyed it. That's a story for another day. All right, Jaymee, we should probably get out of here because it is a Friday edition. We've got more exciting programming coming up for you on Brew Sports today, 11 a.m. Central Time, halftime with myself and Tanner Burke. Of course, then it's happy hour at 4 p.m. Central Time, and then double dribble at 5 p.m. So a lot of great stuff for you today on the Brew Sports Network. Make sure you tune in and catch all of that. Find us on social media. Invite your friends to like us as well, too. And we so much appreciate you checking us out. Remember, you can also find us on iTunes as well if you are a listener instead of more of a watcher. Jaymee, you said you've got a lot of friends that actually listen to the show after the fact and actually tune in because they're on their way to work and all that, which I think is great.
Right.
So special shout out to all those folks.
Yeah.
Appreciate you all. All right, Jaymee, it's been a fun week. Let's do it again on Monday, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, she's Jaymee Evers. I'm Baxter Colburn. Thanks so much for watching The Morning Brew. We'll see you guys on Monday at 7 a.m. Central Time. Enjoy your weekend.